Hi, this is Derek with MostInterestingLife.com, and today's video is about obsession. It's about how to achieve anything great in life, to live a truly interesting life. It takes obsession. You have to be obsessed with it. And this is what makes people truly, really, extremely successful at anything, is that they're obsessed about it. They don't see any other way to be than to be successful at whatever it is, whether it's fitness, whether it's business, whether it's living an interesting life, whether it's with relationships, with any part of their life that they are truly obsessed with. They are more than likely to achieve some sort of greatness. And anybody that is at the top level of anything, whether it be in sports, whether it's Michael Jordan, or boxing, whether it was Muhammad Ali or a Mayweather or a Mike Tyson, business, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, any endeavor, it involves obsession. Even spirituality. I'm sure the Pope is an obsessed Catholic. It takes obsession to achieve any high level. Now, average people, to get themselves to do what it takes for success, they have to drag themselves around to it. They have to drag themselves to the gym. They have to drag themselves to work or to their desk. They're constantly dragging themselves around to do things that supposedly are goals of theirs, or things that they want to be great at. If you're talking to them about putting together a trip or some sort of adventure, you have to chase them around to get them to do it. They're not obsessed with living an interesting life. Now, any excuse that they could think of will get in the way of their goal. An obsessed person, no excuses are good enough to get in the way of their goal. They will not miss one day at the gym. If they're looking for nutrition, they won't eat one bad meal. I mean, cheat days are good, and sometimes cheat meals are okay, but it's rare, and it's very rare that they'll make excuses like that. People that are not obsessed, they're dabblers. For a little while, they'll have New Year's resolutions. They'll start a book about some area of interest, like business or some sort of self-improvement, but they dabble. They're not obsessed. They'll try it for a little bit, and then they'll end up just dropping it off and going back to watching TV, eating junk food, and just being focused on nonsense. Whereas the obsessed people, they won't miss one day at the gym. I'm making this video before going to the gym, and I see there are certain people, I see them there on holidays. I'll see them there any times of the day, and usually they're in really good shape. And because they're obsessed with it. They don't see any other possibility than the path that leads to their goal. Obsessed people, they work tirelessly. They'll start early to late. They think about the subject of their obsession. They think about it, they breathe it, they walk it, they constantly talk about it. It's part of who they are. And I mean, yeah, there are bad forms of obsession, and I mean, especially when dealing with other people. There's stalkers and weird people out there. But for the most part, it takes a nice positive obsession in order to achieve great things. And usually, very often, obsession gets a bad rap. People say, oh, he's wealthy, or yeah, he's in really good shape, but he's obsessed. They use it in a bad way. They try to make people feel bad, but really, they're just doing that as an excuse for themselves to not achieve greatness. They say, oh, he's obsessed. But then they go out and they're not working out, they're not eating right, they're not doing anything to improve their situation. I mean, they're obsessed. They're obsessed with laziness. They're obsessed with watching TV, eating junk food. Everyone's obsessed with something. It's just some people are obsessed with having a clouded mind, staying in bed, being lazy. That's some people's obsession. That's what they put their focus on. And yeah, there are bad forms of obsession, but 9 times out of 10, when somebody is saying that it's a bad obsession, it's really a good obsession that that is being painted as bad by lazy people that just want to make themselves feel better. And Obsession is, it's all powerful in a way. Obsession is more important than natural talent. I mean, natural talent helps with certain things. If you want to be the gold medal Olympian, best at the world at something, you probably need to have a lot of natural talent. But to achieve a really high, masterful level at almost anything, whether it's martial arts, some sort of sport, whether it's at chess, any sort of academic endeavor, art, poetry, business, if you're obsessed, that's enough, because that means you're willing to put in the work, you're willing to learn from your mistakes, you're willing to work at it every single day in order to become great at it. And that is better than natural talent and natural ability. I mean, natural ability and talent is great. It's a multiplier. You multiply that by a tremendous work ethic, a tremendous obsession, and you'll get further faster. But obsession on its own is enough, because eventually it's like the tortoise and the hare. The hare is naturally faster. The rabbit is faster than the tortoise, but the tortoise is relentless. The tortoise is obsessed, and in the long run, in the old children's tale, beats the rabbit in the race, because the tortoise doesn't give up to take a nap like the rabbit does. So, again, all the greats that you ever see. Michael Jordan, he didn't make his high school basketball team at first. He didn't make the varsity team, but he became obsessed and trained and trained and trained, and through his obsession, he became the best basketball player in the world, and probably still considered the best basketball player of all time. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Elon Musk. Bill Gates, from the age of 20 to 30, did not take a single day off when he was building Microsoft. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, if you read their books about their lives, Sam Walton, who founded Walmart, you'll see that they were truly obsessed, and because of that, they became some of the most wealthy, successful people in the world. Some of the most successful people ever. And you see a lot of people will say, oh, he's obsessed, I can't be like that, money's not everything. And yeah, money's not everything, but like 50 Cent says, money's not everything unless you don't have it. Or actually, Kanye said that. And if you ask any of these people if they trade places with, or they trade the situations with these wealthy people, I'm sure that most of the people would if given the opportunity. Because most people fritter away their life. It's, you say obsessed people are obsessed and they're spending all their time and focus on things, but what are non-obsessed people spending time on? The usual things that we talk about here. The things people spend a disproportionate amount of time that we talk about here, like TV, watching sports, hours of sports every day, and just studying statistics that don't help their lives, celebrity gossip, watching TV, movies, and Netflix binges. I mean, I like some TV, I like some movies, I like some Netflix and streaming shows, I do, but in the right dose, because there are bigger goals that will provide me more satisfaction in my life than wasted time. And somebody that is obsessed, even if they're just grinding away, it's like a stream going down through a mountain. Eventually, it grinds away at that mountain and builds a path. Small incremental changes add up huge over time. So even if you're grinding away at something and it feels like you're making no progress, if you're obsessed and you're working, all that time you're learning. You're getting a little bit better and better. 1% changes. Even if you improve 0.5% a day, in a year that's over 180%, 182.5% improvement in a year. And it's more than that, because you're improving over each day before that. So it's being obsessed, it just slowly grinds away, even when it doesn't seem like progress is being made. And any true great success, whatever it is, I bet, especially if you're watching a video like this, you want to live a more interesting life, you have goals, it's going to take obsession. You can't be a dabbler. And most people are dabblers. They just trying things out a little bit, and then it falls off. They get discouraged. They don't see major improvements, so they fall off with it, and they don't have the same fuel, the same fire and obsession inside of them that it takes to achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve. And when you're obsessed, you find better ways. You're not always grinding away at the same pace that it took. You find better ways to do things. You find shortcuts. You increase efficiencies, and you're motivated from within. That's what pushes you forward. That's what obsession is. It seems crazy driving force inside of you that the average person can't understand, and it goes way beyond them. It's like Will Smith. He says that he'll outwork anybody. He said if he's running on a treadmill next to you and you're both on treadmills, he says he'll die on that treadmill just because he's obsessed with achieving anything that he's working on. And he's achieved a lot of great things in his life. He's a great actor. He's a very successful musician. Any interview with him, you look at his life, he's just very focused and he's very successful in anything he does. His family life, he's raised great kids that seem very well adjusted and happy with him, because he's obsessed, because he's willing to die on that treadmill in order to get what needs to be done. So, I mean, look at times in your life that you were obsessed about something. I mean, it could have even been a video game, some small little hobby, anything that you were ever really obsessed with in your life. And there's almost always something in life like that you've been obsessed with, that every single person was obsessed with. Maybe it was gardening, maybe it was reading about something, maybe it was some sort of poetry or some sort of style, fashion. Odds are that you got really good at it. Maybe you weren't the best in the world, but you're probably better than 90-something% of people. And for most endeavors, that's good enough. And more than likely, if you achieve that type of success, even if it was something that was kind of silly, you were probably obsessed with it. And look at areas that you wish you were successful at, but haven't achieved the type of success that you want. You probably weren't obsessed with it. And if you were obsessed with it, you probably weren't obsessed for very long. You probably weren't obsessed with it for over a year or something like that. If you're out of shape, you probably weren't grinding it out at the gym for over a year and really watching your diet and not eating junk. Because if you were, you would have seen great results. So ask yourself what you want in life, and are you obsessed with those things? Because it's going to take obsession to get what you really want. So know the price that has to be paid, and either go on that path or just admit to yourself that it's not really that important. I mean, I've seen it with everything. I've seen people that are obsessed with adventure and travel. They book trips. They make sure it happens no matter what, because the alternative is not acceptable to them. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Go to my site, mostinterestinglife.com, and until next time, stay interesting.